Hey YouTubers, I'm back with another video. Kind of been wanting to show this for a while. I used to dabble with all sorts of things. You've seen that I've made flutes and all kinds of stuff. Well, and combs and so on. But there was a time when I got real fascinated with slate, and I carved a little bit of slate, and I also was really into making drills. So what I want to show you is some of the stuff that I made. This is quite a few years ago. It's one of these frames you just can't seem to let go of. These are some of the drills that I had made. Now this is Onondaga. You can see that's pretty good for Onondaga, because that stuff's pretty tough to work with. And I made a lot of Onondaga drills. This one here with some Coshocton. It's the blue, or Upper Mercer. I know some of you Ohio guys will know exactly what I'm talking about here. That's really, really pretty stuff. Kind of looks like Onondaga, fits in with that group, but it's got a lot of bluish color to it. Now here's one that's quite unique. This is made out of Florida coral, agatized coral. And this one's, well, it looks just like a sword. I mean, look at the way the light goes through that. And this one here is some Fort Payne. This is something Billy might recognize. Some Tennessee material. But, you know, every now and then an arrowhead would go bad and it'd end up as a drill. A couple more right here. More traditional T-shaped. And I have found them similar to this. This is made out of some Texas oil shirt. It's a nice little drill. And these are keepers and ones I couldn't part with. But also in this frame is some of my slate work that I did. I was really fascinated with gorgets. And now these have all been drilled with a flint drill. And I'm going to show you a little bit about drilling with flint here shortly. I call this a bow tie banner stone. Drilled all the way through. It's kind of a neat looking thing, but I think it's a little hokey too. Not quite exactly true to form. Another little gorget. And this is slate, black slate that I was using. You notice the holes, they look right because they were drilled using flint. And there's one I really liked a lot right here. Of course, there are slate points found from time to time. And this is kind of very typical of what they looked like. You'll find those more up here in the north. I don't know if you guys in the south have seen many slate points, but these were ground out and hafted on. So there's a look at that, but that's not all. I've got something else I want to show you. So let me get that ready and I'll be right back. Okay, here's some more slate work. Everything but what you see here in the middle, and I thought I'd include this because this is something cool that I'd made a while ago. One time I got some novaculite, and a big flake had been popped right off from it, and it was a result of the heat treatment. It was flat, and it was just so sharp, so I took a piece of moose antler, the edge part, carved a groove in it, and I glued this piece, and this is an ulu, and I'll tell you, there's not much you couldn't do with this. This is razor sharp. This is just as it popped off the stone. Now, these are birdstones here, and I had quite a fascination with them for quite a while. When I first started collecting stuff, I had a guy offer a birdstone to me, and it looked exactly like this. I've come to find out in later years that it was a fake. So, innocently, I traded it off to a friend of mine, and he still got it, but he also realizes that it's a fake. But this is an exact copy of it. While I still had the birdstone, I traced it out on a piece of slate, and I made it. This wasn't drilled. His story was that it was found in a barn, in a cigar box, stuff left behind with some artifacts. You know, everything good like this always has a great story. But this style of birdstone here is what we call a glacial cane, And this was the type of birdstone that I used on all of my flutes as a pattern. Now this has been also drilled using flint. And drilling with flint is not that hard to do, and I'm going to show a little bit here how it's done. Now this was my pop-eyed birdstone. This guy's really cool. Again, he's also drilled. Got kind of a fantail, big buggy eyes. And he's always been a favorite of mine. These things all kind of just hang out in my curio cabinet. Now here's a real extreme one. Look at how thin this guy is here. He also has pop eyes. So if you guys are out there, you know, buying birdstones, I say buyer beware, because these things can be made relatively easy, and they can be made to look right. And I've always liked this guy here. There was actually one found similar to this. I saw it in a book somewhere. So it inspired me to try to recreate it. But there was a guy I met a few years ago. His name was Richard Parker. And he was a fabulous carver. And he gave me once a stone that I've had my eyes on. Every time I saw him, I would ask him about this particular birdstone. Well, one day I got a surprise in the mail, and I'm still shocked to this day. And he gave me his pop-eyed birdstone that he made, and I had so admired every time I saw him. This is just one of the coolest things. It's a porphyry rock, really hard stuff. Look at this thing. Drilled, again, using flint. And it's just a fabulous little birdstone. So, there's a look at some of the stuff that I have created and collected. I really do like these birdstones. They're kind of cool looking. And I made a few for a while, and then the fascination wore off once I kind of made what I wanted, and now they live on in my curio cabinet, part of my huge collection of crazy stuff I've made. And there'll be more to follow here. Keep watching. I mentioned about how easy it is to drill through stone using a flint drill. Well, here's what I have right here. As you can see, this is nothing more than like a broken arrow shaft with an arrowhead tied on the end. And that right there is a fabulous drill. I'm going to show you how it works. This is a kind of traditional style of turning it by hand and adjusting your hand. And as you see, it really doesn't take long for this drill to cut down through the stone. Now this is stone on stone. Of course, the flint's harder than this blue stone here, but it's doing a good job. Now, if a flake happens to pop off the tip, that makes a new razor sharp edge, and the drill is resharpened and ready to go. So here's what I've done so far with it. You can see that it really has done a good job. I mean, it's drilling right down through there. This is the hole I'm drilling right here. So that's a pretty cool thing. But there was also pump drills. This is my pump drill that I've made. And what you see there is a stone weight that I've drilled a hole through. And you can see that. That same arrow shaft, like you saw here, but now with a stone weight mounted on it. And a piece of antler tine with sinew tied on the ends of it and up to the top here. Now the way to make this thing work is to wind it up and start in a fresh spot. Give it a turn like this and then just push down. It rewinds itself every time because the stone weight gives it momentum and it rewinds it. See, I only need to push down. My hands are just pushing down. And this is doing a great job. You could sit and do this all day and never tire. They believe that a lot of these drills were used by the northern peoples that were drilling ivory and shell and softer slates. But you can see this is also cutting right down through there real nice. And it was drilling that hole right there. So If you ever wondered how they drilled with a flint drill, I think this is how it was done. And this is the way I do it. I hope you found this interesting, because I know when I demonstrate this to kids, they just absolutely love it, and I let them try it, and surprisingly, they never break them. These things are tough. They can stand up to an awful lot of abuse. So, guys, get making this stuff. This is lots of fun. It's putting these tools to work. Thanks for watching.